What's going on, world? Guess what? I finally found us a TikTok expert. And I have really been searching for someone who I thought would bring you value and be able to answer some of your questions, but also someone I've been looking at who has storytelling abilities without just being salesy. So today I bring to you Maayan Gordon. I did say it right, didn't I? I did. I got it right. I got it. I got Maayan Gordon over here. Who, Maayan, I want you to tell them, because your numbers are utterly freaking ridiculous in regards to visibility, video views, and all that great stuff. So I want them to tell you to tell the audience what those accolades are in regards to how people love you online.
Yeah, absolutely. And wow, I don't get to intro myself very often, so this is fun. So I've got, more than 2.3 million followers on TikTok. And then also, TikTok, I would say, has been my biggest exposure platform, but I've been on social media and in this space for about 10 years now. So my Instagram has, measly 38,000 followers, which I actually think is quite a lot of followers, but compared to that TikTok following. And then combined across both platforms, I've generated more than 1 billion views in just the past 2 years with it blows my mind as well. It sounds crazy coming out of my mouth, but that's the power of these platforms these days.
So that was billion with a B, not with a B. It wasn't a million. It was 1 billion video views. And one of the reasons I wanted you to tell your numbers is because no one knows their numbers like they do. And oftentimes when I send my bio out, they'll sometimes find this 2016 bio they want to read. And I'm like, oh, we've come such a long way since then. And I want to focus on TikTok. And you and I, we had a conversation about the fact that a couple of months ago, I decided to let go of a few platforms. And I didn't let go of those platforms because I don't believe in their value. I let go of the platforms because I understood who my audience was. What I want you to tell realtors today, what is one reason why they need to use TikTok?
I think there's so many reasons, but I would say the one reason is, as a realtor, and I'm going through the process of selling my house right now. We're taking the photos today and listing tomorrow. So this is great timing for me to be on this podcast. Is, you choose a realtor that you trust, right? And trust is built through familiarity, relatability, and transparency. And TikTok has all three of those things inherently baked into the videos. The platform has done an incredible job of making it so that when you are taking a TikTok video, it is going to come across really authentic, and a lot of your personality and who you are is going to come through the screen, versus Instagram, where it just has more of a edited, touched up feel. There's a bit less than there is in the platform of TikTok. And so if you want to get out and make sure that people are starting to know who you are, what you're about, and that you're someone who could help them when it comes time for them to sell or buy their house, that's really important, right? When I think about even here in Spokane, Washington, how did I go about finding my realtor? Well, one, I asked some friends, right? Two, I maybe looked in a couple local papers, but that was really it. I didn't, go to some database. Like it's hard to find you guys is an important thing to remember. And so you have to make yourself visible so that people are coming across you and going, oh, who's this person? Wow, they're so cool. Oh, wow, they have things that are similar to me. Oh, if they're similar to me, they're going to be the very best person to advise on AR as a person.
So everything you just said, I 100% love. I tell agents all the time, secret agents don't get found. You just stated it's not nearly as easy to find us as we think it is, and that people want to get to know the true, authentic version of you. Now, what I will say, and we're just going to claim this, you're going to sell your house quick, fast, in a hurry for more than list price because you live in a hot neighborhood. So you bought in a great city where things are just hot right now. So let's just put that into existence. So when you told me initially you wanted to be a veterinarian. So how did you allow your true authentic self? If we were going to go back to the beginning of this journey about 10 years ago, what did you say to yourself that you allowed your true authentic version of yourself to come forward in video?
Man, that's a really good question. So at first I'll say it started with a lot of crying. So I was, in my third semester at college. I was taking 5 classes, all of which were very difficult, like OChem, Calculus 2, zoology, like some very difficult courses. And I was doing fine. I was getting like B's, B pluses throughout the semester, but then it came time for finals. And I knew that I didn't know the subject matter in any of the classes well enough to like really get a high score on my finals. And that was just like breaking me down inside, because to get into vet school, it's like way more competitive than even getting into medical school. It's very, very difficult. You have to have A's, like straight A's across the board, plus extracurriculars. And I was like, why am I putting myself through all of this stress, all of this studying time, and I still don't think I'm going to make it? And I'm not happy with any of it. Like I was pretty miserable in terms of the academic side of it, loving the social side of college, but academically I was just so disinterested because I was finally free and out in the world. And so it was just really, asking myself, Maayan, are you willing to do this for 12 more years, 11 more years? Are you really going to make that decision to go through this? You've experienced it for 3 semesters now. Are you going to do this for 11 more years? And it really just was like, no, I can't. I will not emotionally make it to that point because I wasn't happy. Not because it was too hard academically. It was hard, but it was the emotional side of, I'm going to be miserable for 11 years to then get to the place that I think is going to make me happy. And so I started looking at like, okay, what are the things I actually enjoy doing now? And do I have potential to go on a path in that direction where I already have some amount of happiness that I know, ooh, this is exciting. This makes me happy. And luckily at the time I'd found and discovered copywriting was a thing. And previously I thought you either were writing scientific papers or book essays, and there was nothing else really out there. Right. And I was like, oh my God, people who are creating websites and Amazon listings and all these things, they're not writing it themselves. They hire someone else to do this writing. How cool. I'm really good at writing, something that comes very naturally to me. And I, went to a very, very prestigious high school that would teach, the language arts and just really learned a lot about communication very early on in high school. And so that translated to social media very easily for me. Again, it's all words that we're connecting through, right? And yes, there's some imagery and some video component as well. But just realizing the power of words and how that could help me connect with people was really what got me into the whole video space, social media space, starting with just the simple word.
So now you've baffled me, right? Because I've never heard anyone talk about their ability to write and being a good writer and then adding the image, right? And so now we got multiple hurdles here. We know you're smart, right? So mentally you have the mental capacity to do anything, but you decided to change, right? To get out of your own way because you knew what could potentially make you happy. You're great at writing, but then you needed to now come back and connect the imagery part of that. So did you ever have any hangups or issues on how you thought you looked or what you were projecting visually to the audience because you knew you already had the written word down?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, coming from high school, I think high school is hard for most people. I was definitely, insecure, didn't like how I looked physically, had different just body issues mentally around that. And so that was something that I had to work through, I would say, over the entire course of my 20s. But really how it started connecting the words to the visuals was with the first business that I started. So I did freelance for a while, but then I was in a gas explosion in my rental home with my husband. And that just like kind of blew apart our life for 1 to 2 months while we were in kind of like a recovery phase, both physically and emotionally. And during that time, I stopped doing any amount of work because I couldn't handle like focusing on work and doing this other thing and like dealing with my life that had been blown up. So when I came back to it, I found that I was having to spend so much time like chasing jobs. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, whether you're a freelancer or just a regular job person, right? Like when you are looking for a new job, it's a full-time job that you're not getting paid for. And for me, that was beyond frustrating and felt like I was wasting my time. And so I decided, I'm just going to start up my own business. And I don't know what that's going to be, but like that is the decision and the route that I'm going to go. And the first business that me and my husband came up with was this product called diffuser beads that we made up, where we sourced ginormous bags of like 250,000 airsoft BBs. If you don't know what an airsoft BB is, it's like a little toy gun that shoots these little plastic pellets. You wear eye protection and there's a little bit of safety gear, but it's not quite as hard hitting as paintball. If you've ever been paintballing. And we basically repackaged them into these little jars that would hold 500 beads, threw our label on there and called them diffuser beads. And we sold them direct to customer and a lot of wholesale to smoke shops and to stoners. And they would take these beads and they'd put them in their bongs and they'd swirl around all crazy, and they were a lot of fun. And this took off phenomenally well. I marketed the heck out of this product no one had ever heard of. It had the right pricing, and it just did really well. But part of what really helped it be successful was our Instagram account, acting kind of as a gallery or WordPress websites, which is what I knew how to build. And I was also kind of on the side building WordPress websites. Really couldn't handle a bunch of pictures on a page. It would make it load really, really slow and was just not very, user friendly. And so when we'd cold call, we'd like cold call smoke shops across the country, like 2 to 4 hours a day, starting out in the beginning. And we'd say, "Hi, my name's Maayan Gordon. I'm the owner of 2K Diffuser Beads." Because they were new, we made them up. And so I'd say, "Oh, they're a lightweight, soft bead that you can put in your bong and they swirl around the smoke and they cool it down a little bit and stoners love them. You can go check out our website, diffuserbeads.com, and make sure to check out our Instagram so you can see how much people already love this product." And so on the Instagram, because it was so visual, that's when I really started having to take pictures. And at this point in time, video was pretty garbage on phones. It was still super pixelated. So I wasn't using it as much, but even just translating visual learning from a picture to a video has been something very natural as I've kind of gone through these stages. So I started out trying to take pictures of just still products, right? And then also getting user-generated content because people would post pictures of the diffuser beads in their bongs. It was a very visually engaging product. So that lended to it. And then I'd be like, "Oh, okay, man, that photo looks really good. This one looks really bad. Why is that? Oh, it's because there's high contrast in the lighting," or, "Oh, there's like a lot of saturation in this color that like really drew my eye in." So my study of visuals came as soon as I hopped on social media and was using it as a selling tool. And then it progressed as like the camera quality got better on phones. Then I started diving into live streaming.
I freaking love you. 1, because you were cold calling. 2, right? Because it's something we're told to do, right? And here's what's crazy. You were cold calling. Even though you're thinking creatively, you took a product, off-label use, right, of a product. That's what we call it in pharmaceutical sales. So the creativity is freaking awesome. So, wow. Okay. For realtors, right? Because what I've seen through you is you've tried it, you've done it.
Yep.
What do they need to do in order to grow TikTok? Besides just downloading the app and having it on their mobile device, I want you to give them some things they need to do today in order to start leveraging that too, because you're speaking the realtor language. Like everything you just said is so real estate, right? Repurpose this, cold call, and in fact, I love the amount of time you were spending because that's the amount of time they should be spending. So look, I'm brand new to TikTok. I'm 51, 52 years old. I don't like how I look. The list of things goes on. What do I need to do today?
Yeah, I think, and this is actually going to apply to every social media platform, is start out by brainstorming a list of what are quick, easy to implement tips that you can tell people, because this is one of the fastest ways to build trust and actually curiosity. So anytime, and this is part of how TikTok works. So I call it the surprise reward video. So when you're scrolling through your TikTok For You page, and if you don't know what the For You page is, it's the algorithm home screen. When you open up TikTok, you don't have to go search for videos. It's not like your cable TV where you got to scroll and kind of pick a channel. It's just going to start showing you videos. And based on how you're watching or skipping or interacting with the videos, it'll start to learn what kind of videos you like, and it'll start showing you exactly what you want to see. Now, because you're not going out and searching for the videos, when something pops up in front of you that is relevant or directly related to you or something you can implement, you go, oh, wow, it's so cool. The universe just knew that I was interested in redoing my living room, and it happened to pop up this video that shows me 3 tips on how to redo my living room. Oh my God, this is so cool. I love this account. I love this app, right? So that's kind of the psychology people go through when they see a video that relates to them or that has something they can implement. So write down all of the tips, and they can be directly related to buying or selling a house, but they could also just be for anyone who is living in a home. They could be for people who are renters, because hopefully a lot of the people who are renters at some point want to become home buyers, right? And so thinking about, okay, what are tips that I could share with people really quick and easily, like 1 to 3 tips per video about anything to do with housing. So it could be even geographically located, right? You could kind of, let's say you're like, I don't want people all over the country to see my videos because I'm really hyper-focused on the, Atlanta, Georgia market. You could say, here are the hottest neighborhoods to buy a home in Atlanta, right? So kind of listicle style videos, those can work really well. Here are the, 10 most beautiful places to live in Atlanta. Here are the 3 most expensive mansions in Atlanta, right? You could do tons of just different little listicles, or you could do tips. Here are 3 things you can do before you sell your house to increase its value. Here are 3 things to look for when buying a house. Here are 3 things to avoid when buying a house. All of those different tips can be incredible in terms of not only people engaging with your video quickly, because right at the beginning of a TikTok video, you've got 1 to 2 seconds maybe to hook people in, because people are scrolling through their phones like this, right? We're like not even conscious of what it is we're doing on our phone, but there's certain elements that'll make us stop and want to see what's next. And saying, I've got 3 things to share with you creates a level of anticipation that might get me to stop my scroll to see, oh, what is it that you're about to share? Do I already know these things? Because if I do, I'm going to feel real smart about myself. If I don't, maybe I could learn something. And again, I'll feel real good and smart about myself that I learned something. But we love learning things as human beings. It makes us feel empowered. It makes us feel good. And oftentimes it's useful information that we can apply.
So I've never heard anyone say the word listicle, so I'm going to steal that. Okay, listicle.
It's a marketing word. You got it. I didn't come up with it. Yep.
It makes all the sense in the world. And the fact that we are going to give those quick, easy to implement tips. What I've come to realize about realtors, we want to tell it all, right? From A to Z. When if you looked at A to Z, that's 26 days of content, A, B, C, D. And so taking it and breaking it down, because what are the time limits over on TikTok? What's the maximum?
3 minutes is the maximum now. You can do up to 3 minutes. I wouldn't suggest it. You've got a great point. Like, people don't want to consume a ton of content on a single thing through TikTok. If they wanted to watch a long video, they could go to YouTube. That's kind of, mostly how the thinking is. I'm going to hop on TikTok and get my really quick hits of dopamine as I'm scrolling through all these videos.
And here's the thing, if you did those 26 different videos, because you can download them and repurpose them, that's 26 ways, A through Z, right? In order to get them over to YouTube to watch the longer form video. And so
exactly.
I was reading a study recently that stated that generally 5% of our audience, let's say on a Facebook, actually sees any one piece of content. So how can we take that content and repurpose it? Are you repurposing your TikToks anywhere else, or do you have just TikTok specific content and then Instagram specific content?
Yeah, so I do have different content on different platforms, but sometimes I will share across. It depends on kind of the audience and where the content's geared. So I think there's benefit to both tactics. So ideally, we all have enough time and energy to create separate content for every single platform. I'd say that's the ideal scenario. Now, in reality, none of us have that amount of time. If we wanted to do that, we'd probably need a full like social media team built out, which is something great to aspire to. But if you're like me, I've got one virtual assistant and she's not someone I would want creating the social media. She can go ahead and post it, but like I need to be the one kind of coming up with my stuff. And so, TikTok videos, cross promote or can be leveraged really well through a couple other platforms. One is Instagram Reels, which is by far the best Instagram feature right now. If you're looking to grow, Reels will get you way more reach than like if you're on Instagram and you're trying to grow, like you actually care, you should be doing like at least 3 to 5 Reels per week, if not at least one every day, because nothing else is going to actually grow you like Reels is. And Reels is literally built off of TikTok. Like they created Reels to try and copy and like steal market share away from TikTok. There's also YouTube Shorts. Again, another one of the big giants that went, oh my God, TikTok's crushing it. We better create a product that's similar within our own ecosystem. And so YouTube Shorts is another one. You can just download, repost it, and it makes total sense. You don't have to change anything. Maybe you want to change the caption a little bit, but even if you don't, totally is a great thing to do. Very little extra time from you, lots of extra reach. I would say, Facebook groups is probably better to repost into than a Facebook page, but both work. Let's see. LinkedIn can be hit or miss, although I've started seeing way more people posting TikTok videos on LinkedIn than I did a year ago. So I would say TikTok videos, by nature of them being good content, are great to post across almost any other social media platform. Now, the reverse isn't as true because you can't take an Instagram picture really and turn it into a good TikTok video, right? You have to create video content for TikTok, which is challenging because most of us have not been creating video for a very long time, if at all. And so it's this new skill. It's a new habit that we have to develop and learn, which, old dogs don't like to learn new tricks, but that is what is going to get you ahead. And that's what's going to give you the advantage, right? Over all of the other people and all the other realtors is you doing the things that they're not willing to do.
I will say that again. You be willing to do the things that other people are not willing to do. Now, I've gone and checked everything out. I know that you have a TikTok class. Can you tell my audience how to connect with you and the products and services that you provide?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say if you want to connect directly just to me, my LinkedIn is probably the best place. You can just send me a message and I'm great about checking my inbox. But my website's also a great place that has more information about my backstory, some of the things that I've been working on, some of the other podcasts that I've been featured in. And that's maayangordonmedia.com. That also has a link to my TikTok course on there.
Well, you know what, Maayan, I 100% appreciate you. Definitely some things that I need to think about as I'm still a little drawn towards TikTok because it's so much fun. It's engaging. It's those quick tips. But truly appreciate you coming and sharing with realtors on how they can grow their online presence, leveraging the almighty TikTok. Thank you.